Hey, Lovies, it's me, El Marie, and welcome to the Discovering Me podcast. I'm so excited that you're here. It's another episode. It's another time for us to get together to talk about all things self-discovery. And we don't talk about all things all at once. We break it up into episodes. So that's why I wanted to start this podcast so that we can break it up into episodes but still get the fullness of what we need for self-discovery. So welcome. I hope you enjoy. All right, Levy. So the thing about this episode is, I wasn't really sure about what I was going to talk about or what I was going to share today. But as I'm trying to film this episode, first of all, I procrastinated, and that's my fault. That's my bad. I shouldn't have done that. I don't know what it is about things that are um, given to me to do. Like God has told me to do something for me, not for anybody else, but for me. And I procrastinate and I drag my feet and I don't know what that is. Like I don't have intentions to do that, but I just don't get up and do the task. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not going to talk about obedience today. We're going to talk about starting where you are. So God told me to start this podcast. So I started looking for cameras, started looking for microphones. I started looking for all the things. But it got to a point to where it's like, I know if I'm not obedient, I am not going to get the fulfillment, all the things that God has for me. I'm not going to get them. Because I have to be obedient in this particular season, this particular task. And if I don't, then I can't move on to the next thing. So are you in a season in your self-discovery journey where you are feeling stuck, or you're feeling that there has to be more, or I have to get the newest thing, or I have to be this person, or I have to do that, but you haven't? I guess this kind of ties into obedience as well, but you feel like you got to get all the things to make that thing happen. I'm here to tell you that's not true. I am filming this in my room. Yes. Do I have an office? Absolutely. Do I have the backdrops and the microphones and everything? Absolutely. But it did not set up well. Like it was not giving. Um, so I came out of my office. I'm in my bedroom. I'm shooting this from the bed. Like, let's just be 100% transparent today. I'm shooting this from my bed. I'm trying not to make the camera wobble. I don't know where I'm supposed to look at you in your eye. If you're listening to this on audio, none of that matters. But if you're looking at on YouTube, I don't know if I'm looking you in your eye or not. I don't know. Please forgive me, but we're going to figure this out. But the thing that I could not do was waste another minute. Like I could not waste another day and not record this. Like that was not an option. I just had to literally use what I have. What do I have? I have a tripod. I have a phone. I have a bed. I have a nice little poster behind me, canvas. But the thing is, all of that doesn't matter. What matters is that we are talking, we are building community, that we are getting the message out that self-discovery is very vital to you getting to your goals, getting to your dreams, getting to the point where you are utilizing your life for the purpose and the reason that it was created. Okay. That is the main goal of this whole podcast, for you to understand that you are so vital to this world, that God took his time to create you in a specific way so that you could accomplish specific things that nobody else can accomplish. There are many people that we can read about in history, many people that we see in our own communities, in our own families, that we feel like, oh my gosh, they're so inspirational. I don't know how they did what they're doing, but it was great for me. Like, I love hearing the stories. I love reading about their resilience. I love reading about their boldness and their confidence. And whoever that person may be for you, do you know that you're supposed to be that person for somebody else? And if you don't walk in the fullness of who you are, who you were created to be, then you will not be able to fulfill that. Somebody will go lacking. And even in your life, possibly somebody didn't step up to the plate and discover everything that they were, or just 30% of who they really are. And that left you longing for something. Maybe your parents did not discover who they were. Maybe your father didn't discover who he was, or maybe your mother didn't discover who she was. And so when you came along, she left. He left. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And they missed out on a whole lot because they were not a part of your life. And that could have been a good thing. God could have been sheltering you and keeping you safe because they weren't ready to raise a child, because they didn't discover their parenthood. They didn't discover their nurturing. They didn't discover their fatherhood, their motherhood inside of them. And God protected you and caused them, or not caused them, no, because he was. So let me be clear. God did not cause them to leave. But don't put that on God. That was their decision. That was their decision. But God knows all. So he knows the beginning from the end. He knows so many things. So he knew that they were going to leave. So he sheltered you. He made sure that you at least got to this part. Was your life easy? Probably not. Did you go through a lot? Probably. Were you in foster care? Maybe. But here you are today, able to have internet access, able to be on YouTube, able to be on Spotify, wherever you're listening to this, able to hear this podcast. So you got somewhere. You've made some sort of accomplishments. Here you are listening to a podcast about self-discovery. So it's like there's something in you that wants to be better. There's something in you that wants to be the best you that you can be. So that's why you're here. So whatever decisions that your parents made, and maybe your parents were around. Maybe your parents were the best parents that they could be. Maybe you had the greatest parents ever. I know I had the best mom ever. For me, and I still had challenges in my life despite my parents, despite them being there for me, or being all that they could be for me and my brother. I still had challenges of insecurity. They never made me feel insecure. They never taught insecurity to me. My mom had such a confidence and such a glow and such a, I don't know, she was spicy too. So she never showed any insecurity. So I didn't get that from her, but that was still in me because of the experiences that I had outside of the home. Right? So even with them pushing me to be the best me that I could be, sometimes that felt like I wasn't enough. And that was never their intention. Never their intention. Their intention was just building me to be the best that I can be, because they understood how detrimental this world is. They understood how much of potential that I had in me, and how that potential was coming out every day, and how I was growing, and how I was independently growing, and how so much in me was good. And so they nurtured that part. And sometimes that nurturing felt like, hey, like, you need to do better. You need to do this, and in order to get where I wanted to be in life, I did need to do better. There were certain things that I had a weakness in. And so I would have to kind of balance that with the things that I was good at. And so we all have issues in life. We all had issues in life that brought us here. We all had issues in life that built character, right? That built a resilience, a tenacity in us. But we have to understand that no matter where we are in life, that's where we got to start right there. Me and my friend was talking yesterday, and we were like, people say, oh, you got to start. Sometimes you have to start all over. Well, that can be true. Sometimes I have to start all over, but I don't have to start from the bottom each time. And that's what that's what you don't have to start from the bottom each time. Every season you are building, you're getting building blocks, you're digging out the treasures that are in you, and you're able to stand on those things and you're able to utilize those things. So you don't have to start from the bottom every time. There is no place that says you have to start from the bottom every season. You have to start all over. You have to forget everything that you've learned and you have to start from the ground up. No, I can start from step 10 and keep moving up from there. Or move over. Why do we always feel like we have to move up? There's a depth. Or move down. And moving down doesn't mean I'm being demoted or that I'm losing. It's just I may be getting deeper into the things that I am growing into. Do you not understand that a tree grows two ways? It grows up and it grows down. The roots of those trees grow down to give a foundation. They grow down to reach the nutrients that are needed to grow. And the tree itself grows up. It grows up to give off shade. It grows up to give off all of the things that we need. It grows up to give off fruits and nourishment and the things that are needed for others. But the roots, when we grow down in depth, that is for us. The fruit, the branches, the leaves, the trunks, that is for everybody else. But you cannot service everybody else until you grow deep. Deep within who you are. Deep within where you want to go. Deep within obedience of where God is taking you or sending you. Deep into who you are. Because that's what we're all about here. We want to know who we are. Who are we? Because I tell you guys all the time, we talk about it all the time. Once you know who you are, you can eliminate so many other things. And did you know, going back to the tree, that when we grow, a tree has to grow down first. A plant has to establish roots first before it can grow up. So before you can do all of the things, before you can have all of the things, you have to discover who you are. You have to grow deep. You're needed. You're seen. You're heard. Nobody may ever tell you before or ever tell you or let you know, but you are. I don't get a lot of likes. I don't get a lot of follows. But when I talk to people, they say, hey, Lovey. And I'm like, oh, so you are looking. So you are listening. And it just makes me smile because they're getting the message. And so many people are getting the message of your life. So many people are benefiting from your root system. So many people are benefiting because you are discovering who you are piece by piece. We're not going to discover this all the time. And there's always going to be new discovery as long as you're here on earth. As many of you know, I've started a new season, a new discovery season of who I am as a wife, a new discovery season of who I am as a full-time, 100% businesswoman. Entrepreneur. I'm discovering who I am now also in the nonprofit space. So it's like we're always discovering. Never give up on yourself because you feel like you're not growing, because you can't see it. Sometimes we feel like we're not growing, we feel stagnant, but all the while our roots are growing deep. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. So continue in your self-discovery journey. Continue to utilize what you have in this particular season. Continue to do the thing, whatever that thing is, And don't procrastinate because you don't have this or you don't have that. You are working with a whole lot. And I am so proud of you. And I am so excited about your life. Until next time, toodles.